Rock Jumpers, Episode 3, as the heavy thud of the dropship echoed through the RJS Endeavor's hangar bay. The crew inside allowed themselves a moment of serenity, basking in the safety of their metallic sanctuary amongst the stars. This fleeting sense of security was abruptly shattered, replaced by a crescendo of raw, guttural roars that pierced the temporary silence. The source of the disturbance was as shocking as it was unforeseen. Two alien creatures, their bodies battered and bleeding, had somehow hitched a ride on the landing gear, sneaking onto the ship as uninvited and deadly stowaways. The sudden intrusion turned the hangar bay from a place of welcome to a scene of chaos. The creatures, embodiments of the planet's hostile ecosystem, found themselves trapped in an unfamiliar environment, their primal instincts driving them to lash out. The crew, caught off guard and unprepared for such an encounter within the confines of the Endeavor, scrambled to respond. The initial shock of the creature's presence gave way to a surge of adrenaline, the fight-or-flight instinct taking hold. The tension in the hangar bay escalated as one of the marshals, reacting to the immediate threat, raised his weapon, intent on firing. Captain B.N.Rocker intervened. His arm shot out, pushing the barrel of the rifle down. "You cannot fire that thing in here, son," he cautioned. "You'll kill us all. Stick tight, move as one, back into the dropship, slowly." The crew's attempt to retreat was abruptly interrupted as the creatures charged. Unaccustomed to the ship's metal flooring, their feet slipped, sending them sliding across the hangar bay in a grotesque parody of their natural prowess. The ensuing collision was chaotic. The creature's unexpected tumble knocked several crew members off their feet, scattering them across the floor in all directions. Amid this turmoil, one creature's predicament stood out. A broken leg, likely sustained during its unintended journey, left it pinned against the landing gear, snapping and hissing in frustration and pain. The scene was one of utter disarray, with crew members trying to regain their footing and escape the unpredictable threat. A few of the scientists managed to retreat to the relative safety of the dropship, sealing the hatch behind them, leaving outside a marshal hindered by a missing leg that found himself face to face with one of the creatures, its growl a prelude to the violence that followed. The beast's growl was the last sound the marshal heard before it was upon him, tearing him apart with ruthless efficiency. Thinking quickly, Rocker hurled his pulse rifle at the creature, drawing its attention. "Over here!" he yelled, baiting it. As the creature charged, Rocker executed a daring somersault, sliding past it. The creature, unable to adjust its speed or traction on the metal floor, crashed into the hangar wall, momentarily dazed. Captain Rocker's leadership shined brightly. His order to evacuate the hangar was clear, his actions providing a distraction for the crew's frantic escape. But this left Rocker in a deadly dance with an alien predator. His crew, now safe behind sealed doors, could only watch as their captain became the hunted, a lone figure against a menacing beast. Rocker, his heart pounding in his chest, made a split-second decision to dash for the main hangar door, the creature's guttural snarls filling the air behind him. The beast, driven by a primal hunger, chased after him, its claws scraping the metal floor with each stride, nipping at Rocker's heels. As he weaves and dodges left and right, the beast mirroring his every move, but struggles for traction on the slick surface. Sure footing and agility were Bick's only advantages. In a daring maneuver, Rocker reversed direction, sliding beneath the leaping creature. He felt the whoosh of its body overhead, narrowly avoiding a bite that could have spelled his end. As he rolled between its legs, the creature, unprepared for his quick thinking, tumbled end over end in a confused mass of limbs, slamming into the hangar door, blocking Rocker's escape. Captain B.N.Rocker's instincts kicked into high gear, reversing direction. He headed back towards the relative safety of the dropship, but his escape was abruptly halted by a grotesque sight that ensnared his attention and chilled his blood. There, in a display of raw, animalistic desperation, the second raptor, its leg cruelly pinned beneath the heavy landing gear of the dropship, committed an act of self-mutilation that was stark and horrifying. With savage determination and a chilling disregard for its own agony, the creature bit down on its trapped limb, severing it in a gruesome spectacle of blood and sinew. The sound of flesh tearing, bones crunching, and the creature's own pained roars filled the hangar, Bick witnessing a tableau of survival instincts in its most primal state. The sight of the raptor, now freed but severely wounded, hobbling on its maimed stump, was both pitiful and terrifying. Its eyes, fueled by pain and rage, fixed on Rocker, igniting a new level of fear and urgency within him. As he looked over his shoulder, Rocker realized he was caught now in a deadly game of pickle, a perverse game of survival against not one, but two raptors. Without a moment's hesitation, Rocker pressed forward, choosing to confront the hobbling creature directly in his path. As he neared, the injured raptor lunged in a last-ditch attempt to catch its prey, its movements clumsy and pained. Rocker, relying on his well-honed reflexes, easily sidestepped the desperate swipe, watching as the creature's momentum carried it forward, only to collapse in a heap. This maneuver, however, had an unintended consequence. The first raptor, still in pursuit, was unable to halt its charge, tripping over its injured counterpart. The two beasts tumbled in a chaotic mass of limbs and snarls, giving Rocker the distraction he needed. With the path now clear and his heart pounding in his ears, he seized the opportunity, sprinting with renewed vigor towards the hangar door. As he neared the hangar door, the sounds of the creature's frustrated roars and the cacophony of their tangled struggle echoed behind him. Just as he reached the hangar door, which remained stubbornly closed, stuck from the dent the creature had put in it, Rocker faced the raptors. They stood up at the base of the dropship. They charge, his back to the door, the intensity in the beast's eyes a clear promise of a gruesome end. Just then, a sudden roar filled the hangar, a sound so loud it momentarily disoriented both predator and prey. It was the dropship, its engines flaring to life in a blinding burst of light and heat. The scientist on board, in a move of sheer genius, had ignited the engines for a brief but powerful moment, directing the scorching blast towards the creatures. As the dropship's engines roared to life, the two menacing raptors found themselves directly in the path of destruction. A torrent of searing heat and blinding light erupted from the exhausts, transforming the area around the dropship into a furnace of unparalleled ferocity. The raptors, caught in the maelstrom of energy, were subjected to forces beyond their evolutionary comprehension. The intense heat, reaching temperatures that could melt metal, enveloped the creatures in a cocoon of fire. For a fleeting moment, their forms became silhouettes against a backdrop of incandescent fury. The process of disintegration was merciless and swift. The outer layers of their exoskeletons, though tough and designed for the rigors of their native environment, offered no resistance against the thermal onslaught. The high-energy heat rapidly penetrated their bodies, vaporizing organic tissues with ruthless efficiency. Muscles, internal organs, and bodily fluids evaporated in an instant, leaving behind only a faint trace of their biological essence in the air. As the blast continued, even the durable exoskeletons began to succumb. They cracked and splintered under the extreme temperature, breaking down into their constituent molecules, which were then carried away by the force of the exhaust. What remained in the wake of the engine's fury was nothing but a fine dust scattered across the hangar floor, the only physical testament to the creature's existence. The entire episode lasted but a few minutes, yet in that brief span, the raptors were reduced from fearsome predators to mere memories, erased from existence by the technological might at humanity's command, leaving a lingering silence in the hangar that spoke volumes of the ordeal that had just transpired. Captain B.N.Rocker knew that this encounter was a turning point. It underscored the precarious nature of their mission and the unpredictable challenges of exploring the unknown. The crew of the RJS Endeavour had survived another day, but the saga of their journey through the cosmos was far from over. This is not goodbye, nor the end. Until the story continues, my friends, B.N.Rocker.